What's up, Bear? Alright, yeah, I didn't figure anybody was really going to be out, so I just thought I'd give it a shot. What up, Aaron? How you doing, bro? Yeah, man. Hey, Shelby. Hope you're having a good night, guys. I literally just got upstairs. Um, been a long night. Parents were watching a movie and didn't want to bring me up. But kind of figured everybody would, or almost everybody would be in bed or by now. Hey, how's it going?
Hello, hello.
Hey, how's it going?
How's your day been?
Oh, not bad. Nothing exciting. How about yours?
Long nap, watch a movie, try again.
Good.
I did
Alright.
watch a pretty decent movie just a minute ago, though. It's
What did
called
you
The
watch?
Beast. It's about a dude he takes his girls to Africa where their mother lived because she passed away. Trying to get that groove back on and get them as a family type of deal.
Yeah.
They end up fighting a mean lion, and I mean mean. Who are you talking to? Fred. Who? Fred.
Yeah.
Ben. Fred. You want to talk to him to me? Well, baby, I just came in here. Sorry. Does your hair look nice and young?
Thanks, Jeff. Good. Um, yeah, I don't even know what movie you went for watching. I wasn't paying attention. How you doing, Hector? Um, how long were y'all on after I left last night? Oh no, my computer may be dying. Mama?
Good evening, Coin Catcher and Jeff, Hector, Vern. Everybody had a good morning?
Sorry, just trying to get the YouTube open.
Are you beating it up, Fred?
What? Oh, a little. Yeah, 1 second.
Well, it's rocky here at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Say what?
Kind of rocky here at 4 o'clock in the morning. My old man's pouting because I come to bed because the movie ended, but guess
Yeah.
he didn't
What's
like
up,
me
Frank?
getting on the computer. We will.
My charger's not open.
Yeah, Fred,
What? Not complete.
you're cutting in and out bad.
Just 1 second. I mean, I'm pretty sure Mom did it. Okay, yeah. Thank you. Love you. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Okay. I got my computer. But, I wasn't planning on being very long. I just kind of wanted to see who was still up. Um, didn't figure a lot of people would be.
Oh,
Uh, been any races today?
no, nothing. The only race I really, really wanted to get in was really high. Got in another race and didn't win it, but I
What
was
was
close.
it?
The whole set of the dragons. It was nice.
Oh,
All six of them.
how much a spot was it?
Dragons. World of Dragons. I don't know if Johnny has the whole set or
How
not.
much?
I don't know if Johnny has the whole set of them or not.
How much was it?
It was $15 to get in it, but there were six of them. You got the whole set.
Oh yeah, yeah, that'd be nice.
Yeah, that would be nice. Oh, who was it that won it? Oregon Stacker. Oregon. He seemed to be real tickled. I would have been.
Oh hell yeah.
So I got to thinking about this logo. It has to be girly, because if it ain't, everybody will think I'm a guy. You know what I'm saying?
I can do girly. Yeah, I can do girly.
I'm not all hearts and sunshine though.
What?
I'm not all hearts and sunshines.
Oh, yeah. I was definitely thinking about incorporating a horse in there somewhere, like you said.
Well, hmm, I like horses, but that may, I don't know. Horses and butterflies and what? What else do I like pretty well?
Mm.
Cheeseburgers don't count. No money, just a little bit.
Oh, mm, rainbows. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, you know how it is. They expect girls to have girly stuff. I'd be perfectly fine with the killer gorilla with shell bean on his glasses. But
Volcano. And Captain said.
then they would think I'm a guy.
Yeah, this is stupid as hell.
Oh, oh, am I supposed to come in riding a unicorn with butterflies and rainbows and little furry bunnies and an odd duck?
Little furry bunnies. What place?
The best of all races have a zombie, uh, a kitty. All that could almost be cute.
Hector, those are just automatic questions that a bot puts in for me just to keep chat interactive. But by place, it means like the stream, I guess, the channel.
Oh, a unicorn that breathes fire and farts rainbows.
What up, Irish Doctor?
Oh no.
You like Pop Tart Cat, only a unicorn. Fire breathing unicorn. Have you ever seen Charlie the Unicorn?
Charlie and the Unicorn, I don't guess so.
You'll have to look it up. When you first start watching it, you're gonna be like, oh, what the fuck is this dude having me watch? But seriously, you gotta get through the whole thing.
Charlie and the
And
Unicorn.
llamas with hats. Llamas with hats is hilarious.
Badass babes, Arnie. Valkyrie chicks.
Oh. Who here has seen either Charlie the Unicorn or Llamas with Hats? Anybody? Come on, someone's got to have seen at least one of those. Dang. Y'all gotta go look that stuff up. It's hilarious.
Hee hee. There's drama llama.
Hmm.
It could
Um,
spit silver coins and shit gold bricks.
you gotta check yourself before you wreck yourself.
That's kind of funny. Spit silver coins and shit gold bricks.
Hey, Silver Hair.
Nobody ever said I was politically correct.
You're politically correct. You can say bye bye. Um,
I'm probably about as politically incorrect as it gets.
yeah. Um, politically correct. Oh my god. I cannot stand that phrase. Um, it's stupid. Wish we could go back. It
I've
seems
seen a
like.
lot of logos that look really good, but
Say,
Angry's is probably one of the best.
oh, thank you. I got his, and I like them LZBs. His was pretty cool.
Yeah, the guitars and stuff work for him. And Jenny Sweethearts is perfect for her
Yep.
with little heart.
Sucky part about it for her though is, um, being as she got them in the shape of a heart, they're always gonna cost more, and the die cut stickers don't go on sale nearly as much as. Oh,
Well, it sounds like when they go on sale, you need to buy an extra bunch,
you know.
right?
Hmm.
That could be simply fixed by just putting a round background behind it.
You could, but it. I mean, it might mess up the feng shui of it.
It was just a thought.
Oh yeah. I mean, she wanted it heart shaped, so I mean, she
But in
definitely
the
got what she
future, if she
wanted.
wanted to do cheaper stickers, she could just put it on a certain whatever color background or something, like a pearlized or something.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think it bothers her whatsoever.
If the cost was a problem, type of thing. I believe MLZB buys them anyway, so it's all good.
I had a nagging headache for the last few hours.
Oh,
Mm, Magic the Gathering. Uh, yeah, Silver Bull, I think it was, said he had some found some old cards, Pokemon cards that he was gonna snap a picture of and send to me, which is cool. Pokemon, not Magic. But, so what's
I could
everybody's
be
time?
Jessica Rabbit. They just draw me bad.
Say what?
I could be Jessica Rabbit with silver coins raining down over her, and gold bricks stacked over on the side.
That's what you want?
Well, I'm just thinking, I'm not bad. They just draw me that way.
Huh. Shit, we got the regular buttons and shit, and I can't even move. You'd be
But
shocked at how easy it is for me to lose shit when I can't get up and move. Yeah. What's everybody's night? Night. Heart shape, you said? Yeah, Jenny's Sweethearts logo is heart shaped.
that means ovals would be higher priced too, wouldn't they?
Yeah, probably.
Hmm.
Ruin a video game by adding the word moist in the title. Oh, Final Moist Fantasy. Hmm, another good one. Another good one. Ruin a video game title by adding the word Moist Halo. Hmm,
Okay. Hmm.
Moist Man.
Hi, Johnny Ray.
What up, Johnny?
You mean I came in the back way?
I cannot believe I didn't send you the link.
Well, I didn't think you were gonna be on tonight.
Yeah, I um didn't get brought upstairs till just recently.
Well, are you still awake, Shelby?
Yeah, I'm still awake, Johnny.
Oh, okay. I didn't know. You got.
Very.
Well, I mean, is there a depression going on? Are we upset? We mad? It seems like there's a I don't know. It just seems like you guys are down. You know, like this flow of the stream is like.
Well, my
What's
brain's
go-
not functioning real well. It's almost 4:30.
ah,
Yeah.
But
So
I
you
mean,
guys discussed your logo.
well, I have no clue what I really want. I've been trying to think on it all day.
Well, I guess when you figure it out, let them know.
I kind of like the silver coin ideas and the little gold bars, but I don't know what to put with it. I really don't.
Mm.
My favorite Looney Tune is Marvin the Martian.
So you put Merlin and Martian riding a horse, Dread?
With this little XP 72 pea shooter.
With some money
Give me,
bags
all,
hanging over the horse. Yeah, I don't know if I'm talking shit. I don't know. I don't know.
give me all your coins.
Here you go.
Oh no, or I'll blow up your world. Yeah, give me all your
Uh,
silver coins before I blow up your world.
I see Arnie C, but I don't see anybody else talking. Where's everyone at?
Well, I mean, it's 3:15 in the morning.
What you got six in chat? Time to wake up. Start the day.
Bear went to bed as soon as I got here. Maybe before.
Who went to bed?
Bear.
Oh, he was over in. Well, you were both over there because he texted me about some game they were running. I was intently watching T stream and how they were completely obliterating Anna.
What?
So, oh man, it ain't even. Uh, they were just obliterating Anna. I mean, just obliterating her ass.
They were treating her bad.
She's been banned from T stream anyway. But they were. I don't know. I had never seen her ask anybody for help for her heating, and I don't know whole story about Ike's girl called the mayor and called a bunch of people and was gonna do something and told Anna she needs to put. Basically, my thing is, look, if you're gonna help people, if that's what your thing is,
I, I, I
no
need
ask for a
that.
return. You just do it, and if you get fucked, you get fucked. Okay, and I've been screwed around many times in my life, but I will still help people out because it is not for me to judge. In the end, it's not for me to judge people. So I will continue to do what I do, and I will not never be.
Mm.
I mean, will I be upset that somebody ripped me off? Probably, but in the grand scheme of things, if I'm helping somebody out, then I'm helping somebody out, and that's it.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, I couldn't even say nothing. I wanted if I got on that stream and I was going to, I started to, and yeah, I would have pissed a whole lot of people off because I was coming in with both guns fucking on rapid fire, and I just decided to just let
leave.
it go and not jump up there because yeah, that would have started some shit.
I don't like nobody treating nobody bad. That just ain't right.
I mean, yes, there's a lot of people that say I wish I could. I mean, and I get that everyone else, that's everyone's code for. Um, well, that's everyone's interpretation of buy me a spot. I wish I could. I wish I could. Get a spot. So I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Like I said, I help people because I want to help people, whether they're good people, bad people, or indifferent. And if I get ripped off, I get ripped off. That's just how it is.
Wait,
When you choose a life of giving of yourself, then you're gonna take that. Then it's a big chance you're gonna get ripped off. But you
More
do it
times
because it makes you feel good.
more
what were
times
you
than
saying
not, but
about
you're right. It makes you feel good.
what were you saying about ex girl calling the mayor or something?
From what I understand, this is what I understood that Anna was wanting help paying her for her heating oil. She was in a stream saying she had no heating oil and she was freezing.
Oh yeah,
And um, instead of like normal, not like normally people would do, they would just throw together something to help somebody out, and that'd be the end of it. But that's not what happened. They wanted um, Ike's girl was requiring her to put up her stuff, and which is fine. I get it. Anna does have a lot of giveaways that she won, but here's the stipulation: she was gonna have Anna put her stuff up, but the money wasn't going to go to Anna. It was gonna go to Ice Girl, and then Ice Girl was gonna go pay or supposed to pay the heat. I don't know how, but you're gonna tell somebody to put up their own stuff and then say you don't get the money for it. You I'll make
yeah,
sure that gets done.
no,
You can't do that now. If you're gonna put up your stuff, then you say that then you have say of what you want to do with it. But you can't tell somebody to put their own stuff up and then say you're gonna take the money for it. But that ain't even the point. The point is, man, there's a lot of people that ain't got money, or maybe they do got money. They just like free shit. Um, but we're not judge, jury, and executioner. You know, if you're religious, you believe that uh, you'll be judged by God in the end. So all your bad things you did, if you rip somebody off, if you scam somebody, you'll be judged for it. I'm not here to judge nobody, man. And it irritates me when you get a whole stream jumping on one person. Actually, it was more T and Ice Girl than it was anybody else. So
yeah.
Well, one
I,
falls right into the other right there. You know.
that shit doesn't need to be handled on a live stream like that.
it really does not. But they continue. Everyone continues to put shit out there on lives, and it's like, look, and then and that's just it. There should be no more from T. T blocked her. Okay, and if everybody else don't want Anna in their stream, they know where that button is to block people out of their stream. So if you guys don't like Anna, and I'm saying this for the next few, and I'm even gonna do a video about it. If you don't like somebody and you don't want them in your stream, you block them. You unsubscribe to them, you block them, you don't let them in your stream. The minute they show up and say hello, you boot them. So, so there is no issue. If you continue to let somebody in your stream that you have problems with, then that just means you are a fucking drama hound and you just want something to talk about.
Hmm.
It's just like, you know, we talked about it before. Change the channel. If you don't like what's on, change the channel. If you don't like the person, block them and don't let them in your stream. And if people are letting that person in their streams, then that means they don't have a problem with them. And you shouldn't tell somebody who they can and can't let in their stream. So that's my whole point of view. I just don't like seeing people get bashed over shit like that.
Yeah,
I've seen one or two that I'd like to just say go fuck yourself, but that would cause a drama too.
Yeah, it's so all the subscribers that I got from AAP yesterday are gone.
Really?
Every one of them. And yeah, every one of them watch videos. Every one of them, matter of fact, like 3 or 4 of them was watched like 5 or 6 videos and left comments on all of them. And YouTube still pulled them.
and you can't get no help from YouTube if you hey actually get hold of them. You
Josh,
know?
I don't think there's none any enough people in here to run a game.
Mm-mm. Nope. We only have 5 people in here.
Uh, you didn't watch it. You didn't go back and rewatch the stream last night, did you, Trevor?
No.
Yeah, you liar.
Why?
Okay. Just wondering. We was talking shit about you. I just want to
Oh, okay.
know.
Oh,
No, we was talking about something, and then Bear's like, "Hey, man, Greg's gonna come back and watch the stream." I'm like, he's like, "We could have talked about that off." I'm like, "Yeah, I guess we could have." Oh well, life goes on.
next time
Oh,
we'll remember to actually talk shit about him, huh?
What's that?
Next time we'll actually remember to talk shit about him, right?
I have to.
Oh God.
Ooh, somebody else came in. What's up, whoever the mystery person is?
Hello,
Mystery people.
come play with us. We're bored. Better watch
How
what
long
I.
have you? Oh, you only been on 38 minutes. Okay.
yeah. Um,
Mm.
because I literally got upstairs and turned the stream on.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
Oh,
I fell asleep early as shit. Wow. I stopped about 7 o'clock, and I think 7:30 I was out of it. So woke up at 12:30. Yeah, to that. So I've been up for a couple hours, just trying to research, try to figure out how to how to get these subscribers to stay on my channel. I don't even get it, man.
yeah, that's
I mean, when people come in and watch videos, leave comments and all that other stuff, and YouTube still. Uh, and the sad part was I had 895, and at 5 o'clock yesterday morning I had 894. And by the time I woke back up from my little 3 hour nap, I had 888. And a few hours ago, it went back to 885. I'm like, come on. I mean, you took every one of them. Couldn't leave me just one.
right. Like shit.
That's just. Mm.
So, I did the AAP thing, and that didn't work out. I go on streams, I drop my link to every place I go, and that don't work. So how do you grow a channel? I'm gonna go over to TikTok and leave a video, and I only got 155 followers on TikTok, so
Yeah, I don't get why they do that.
I watch some stuff on it. They're trying to say, well, that's YouTube just clearing out. First of all, we'll talk about clearing um, dead accounts, spam accounts, other shit that they're talking. Like, come on, man. I guess if they feel that you did sub for sub, they'll take the subs away because it's in their guidelines, and I don't understand that. First of all, you can't build up a channel with that many subs. Even Mr. Beast with 111 million subs don't get 111 million views every time he puts out a video. If he getting 20 million views or 30 million views on with 111 million subscribers, that's only what, about 10%. I don't know what the percentage is, but you know what I'm saying. Wow, someone jumped in and jumped up right fuck back out. Said, nope, this ain't for me. Gotta go.
Yeah.
I'm not doing giveaways to build my channel.
Yeah.
I refuse to put that out there for people to subscribe, get the giveaway, and then leave again, because it happens all the time. Now, I've done giveaways for other people. I do enough for other people in this community that I shouldn't have to. And to me, it's the same thing as buying subscribers. I said it before. But it ain't even that, because I can get the people to it ain't even the part of getting people to come to my channel, because I get that. I get plenty of people that subscribe to my channel. I'd be at 1K already if half the people YouTube took away, if they wouldn't take them away.
Yeah.
Hector wants to come up.
You,
What's going on, Hector? I ain't seen Hector in a while.
Good morning, folks.
Morning, Hector. What's going on?
I kind of agree with a lot of the stuff you were saying.
You?
I agree.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I've never given away anything. I've always talked to people. I say hello to everybody I can in chat. And I'm at 1,000. It took me a while, about almost 5 years. But I've given things like on the backside of email or direct message, or because you're right. Sometimes people just make up a new channel name, and you give away the stuff, and all of a sudden they're gone.
That's it. Now, once I reach the goal, I don't have no problem, doing a little giveaway, but I refuse to dangle it in front of somebody to have them subscribe. It's like the carrot and the stick. I'm not going to dangle it in front of somebody to get them to subscribe to me. Now, I'm with, like you, I've been at this for 5 years. With the exception of that year and a half I was down, I didn't really try to push growing my channel, first of all, because I just didn't feel like doing YouTube that much.
what up, Monkey?
Well,
So,
that's true though. I don't know how to. I basically I'm talking to people on private now. I've gotten a certain number of people, at least about, well, I'd say about 20 people that I talk to normally on private, because sometimes the topics get off. Like for me, I like talking about certain things as long as the channel is all talking about it, and it's a topic that is not causing issues or hatred, or making wild statements, or being confrontational. Um,
right,
but if you can talk openly and honest, and you're telling the truth, you see, that's the biggest thing for me. I'm a teacher, and the one thing that I don't like is when students tell me a lie.
right,
You
you got
know,
that right.
yeah, and I'm 66 years old, and I come from an era where, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people, even today, have grown up like this. Your word is your bond. Your handshake is your word, and you always think about not fair. You think about fair play instead. Let's put it that way. You don't take advantage of somebody else just because. Um, I don't know. It just seems like a different world that I see nowadays from when I grew up.
Oh, definitely. I'm 51, so
Oh, then you know then.
yeah. Yep. I mean, and I've done. I actually have not. I got 800. I'm almost at 1K without physically saying I. Once I get to this, I'm giving this away.
Hmm.
Um, I've done giveaways for other channels to push them and promote them, but and I help out as many people as I can in the community. One, because a lot of people helped me, when I needed
Hmm.
it. So I'm just using, I just paying back. I probably paid more back, but again, it was so when I needed it, and I'll never feel like I've paid it back enough. So
Well, it's like the way I was taught in catechism. You do the best you can because you'll never be perfect. But at the same time, you don't, expect the reward on the backside. I mean, yeah, if something comes along and it's not related to what you did, then, it's an acceptance.
right,
But just because someone says, I pray for this and I didn't get it, and they get mad. Um, a lot of
This,
people, I don't know, it just seems like they need to have some kind of validation and quick. When I
this
was a
is
kid growing up, my dad just say, as long as we got food in our house, you got clean clothes, you get to go to a movie once a month or go to the drive-in or whatever, then you're doing okay.
I have a story that's a good example of what you just said.
well,
And
preach to
um,
us, Dread.
what?
I said, preach it, brother.
Uh, so so there was a man out fishing, and a huge storm totally wrecked his boat, and he was stranded, um, just treading water. And he said, "God, God, please save me, God. I'll do anything, save me." And a few minutes later, a boat comes along, and it's like, "Hey, man, we're gonna help get you out. Like, come on, let's
Yeah.
go." He's like, "No, no, God will save me. I'm waiting for God to save me." And so the boat's like, "Okay," and they move along. And then this happens like two or three more times. "No, God will save me. God will save me." And then when he finally can't swim anymore and meets God in heaven, he said, "God, why didn't you save me?" And he said, "I sent you like three or four boats to save you. Like, there's a lot of, you don't get exactly what you're asking for the way you think you're gonna, the way you think you're going to. You know,
Right.
God works in other ways. Like,
God helps you how He sees fit, not how you see fit.
yeah,
In this day and time, if you've got your bills paid, food in the fridge, and a place to live, you're blessed.
yeah.
There's a lot of people that don't have it easy. They're having
Looks
to
like
decide whether, okay, do I pay my insurance and still go to work to put food on the table for my kids? Just a bunch of different things.
That's
yeah.
right.
And like Hector said, everybody wants instant gratification.
That's the word I was looking for. Instant gratification. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. My thing was when I was going to catechism, I remember the people that were teaching us Sunday school. Actually, this was Saturday school, and they would say, "Don't expect the most." And I could never get that in my head. What does that? What does that mean? The most? Because some people get very little, and that's a lot, and people get too much, and that's not enough. So that kind of got me a little bit going. The other thing was too is that I remember one thing that really told me something about you know Christianity, and one of them is if you do unto the least of me, you do to me. And I said, well, who's he? And the guy says, well, the teacher. says it's Jesus Christ. He is the least of all people. And if you help a person who's the least, then you're helping me. It's like when you just said a while ago about you might get screwed over because someone asked for money or some help, and you might feel you or you hear later on that you could get screwed over, or you expect to get screwed over, or it's a possibility. And
Oh
that's
wow,
not,
you was listening that long, huh?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Because my wife, she gets really upset when I give people $1, not because it was $1, and it wasn't because it wasn't a lot. It was because, oh, they'll use that dollar and they'll go buy drugs or they'll buy, beer, whatever. And I said, so, I mean, your concern is that you gave them some kind of relief in some way. If they did, your intention was the good. Maybe that dollar buys them a glass of milk or, because, there's certain people, they've done it in our area where they followed a guy who was getting a lot of where the traffic was a lot of traffic, and he was getting $1 or $2. And when he left, they watched him, and when he left the area, he got into his Mercedes. Then he went to his home, which was a very nice house, and they asked him, why are you doing this? He said, I'm not doing anything wrong. People give me the money and they do, but that was his job daily. They figured he was making about $300 to $500 a day.
We got a guy here in Kentucky that has been busted. I can't
Really?
tell you how many times plastered all over the news, and still will try to go to other towns and do it, even though everybody in Kentucky has seen him plastered on the news.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, and I've heard a lot of people say it. Say that same thing. Oh, you're just gonna take it and you go get drugs or I'm not that man's judge. Okay,
Mm-mm. Yeah.
if that's what he's gonna do with it, it's what he's gonna do with it. If he has, if somebody is bold enough to stand out on a street corner, or if they need to stand, I'm not bold enough, but if that's your only, trust me, I had to do it, not stand on the corner, but I needed to get somewhere, and I was just flat broke, and I had no gas. It is so It is a crippling embarrassment to try to walk up to people to try to get a couple of dollars at the gas station,
Mm-hmm.
and for the people that actually sit out there and people say, well, they can go get jobs. Well, maybe they can. Maybe they don't have an address. They don't have a place to go take a shower. They don't have clean clothes. You know, you don't know what their story is. You don't know the whole story. All you see them is on the corner with a sign. So you can't be the judge of that person. If you want to help them, you help them. If you don't, that's not a bad thing either. If you don't want to help somebody, you're not a bad person. But
You
to
know,
judge somebody over it,
yeah,
that gets a little iffy.
yeah. It's just like when in 2020 I was a census server and I was covering certain parts of town that were, run down, hardly any jobs, hardly any stores. Um, and I had 26 people under my supervision, and they all came back, and they all came from, okay, the people that I hired, that I didn't hire, we hired in group mass, were people who had jobs already. Their jobs were secondary for the census, and it was part time. Is on over. It was after their jobs were over and on weekends. So when I scheduled these 26 people, I formed in pairs because I didn't want them to be alone and try to go to a house or a halfway house or a um, well, the area was really run down, so they had a lot of missions out there. Uh, they had a lot of drug use and stuff like that. And the other half, I had half go there, then the half went to the nice side of town. And you'd be surprised how many people we found that were living in their cars, or living at the mission, or they live on the street and they go there for their dinners or breakfast because we had to count everybody. And what surprises me is that there were so many men out there with families that were living in their cars. that I found, and their unemployment ran out. They lost their credit because they were getting behind on their rent and gas and whatever. So there were a lot of things that were in their way. And I mean, you talk to them and says how many in your family and this and that, and after a while they start talking to you, you know, and they tell you why they're on the street. And I go, wow, it was pretty sad. Now, I mean, I couldn't believe Americans did that to Americans, you know. Um,
Oh yeah.
I was really bummed out after that. And then at the end of the year, when we were almost finished, they cut us 3 weeks short. We couldn't finish our reports.
Why?
We don't know. Okay, speculation is among us. Nobody higher up. I mean, nobody like at Washington level or at the regional level, which was in LA, because I'm in California. And only thing we can think of is if you don't count certain people, like if you don't count poor people, then your Medicare, your Medi-Cal, your government assistance, your Section 8 doesn't get put in the figure. And that if the numbers are lower, then they lower the money that's being put to those. Then even for child's aid, um, nutrition, um, my schools were actually feeding kids on vacations during the summer, during Christmas, during Easter, during Thanksgiving, because the only meal they would get was from school. So they would give them breakfast. Oh yeah, breakfast and lunch for when school was in. But when school was out, they only eat once a day, and sometimes the parents didn't eat because they give their food to their kids.
Right.
And I had a lot of my kids um, tell me a lot of stuff. You know, like they would go to school without a jacket or poor shoes. You know, just a lot of things I saw that we shouldn't be treating our people like this. No, I don't care what part of the country in. Uh, I can go to Appalachia and probably find the same thing. I probably can go to Georgia and find the same thing. I can find people in, well, Texas I know real well because we have family over there. And they're always out there collecting shoes and jackets and food. And it's bad. I mean, that was 2 years ago. I don't know what it's like now.
It's probably worse now. And again,
Probably.
with the shit so expensive, I mean, hell, you can't get an apartment for under $1,000 a month now.
Mm-hmm.
Look at
And
people that got kicked out of their apartments because of the COVID stuff, and can't
right,
get another one because rents are, almost double.
and then the parents' decision is I can afford rent, but then I can't buy my kids a winter coat. I can't find. And then they try to get help to get this stuff, and like Hector said, they cut that short, so the funding is now not there. Um, so now they have nowhere to turn,
Well, it's
and
just, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
sometimes the parents decide, well, I got to pay the rent. I try to put as many shirts or whatever to keep you warm, but I can't afford to get you a coat. So they have to make decisions, and if they decide to not pay the rent to keep your children warm, then they're going to be out of a house. So
Mm-hmm.
there's decisions they have to make.
All right. Well, and there was the reason, part of the reason that, and I hate to say this because apartments for people like my cousin, she told me just what 2 months ago, her rent is going to go to $4,200 a month for a 3 bedroom apartment.
Golly.
I said, with $4,200 a month, you could buy a house. But
You got that right. Good God.
yeah, that's Fremont. That's the Bay Area. That's in San Francisco, so it's pretty expensive. Not only that, the news report yesterday, and I forget which company, bought over $1.7 billion worth of homes. You know why they're doing that?
I have no idea.
They're buying them because people can't afford the houses right now because of the interest rates. And they're betting on that if the interest rates go down and prices go down, they're able to sell their housing at a higher profit.
Mm, it's all
Corporations
about the profit.
behind that. buying houses like crazy here too. It's all over.
Profit
Well,
before people, and that's how these corporations think. And they won't come out and say that, but I guarantee there's a COO or CFO, whatever, that's his thing. Is it's profit before people.
mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
And the thing is, right now, most companies right now are buying back their stock to make their stock more valuable, and less people at the, let's say, even the people that make only $400,000 a year, which is a lot of money to me, uh, where they're making more money buying back their stock and making their company more valuable, which prices everybody else out because it's supposed to go into pensions, like well, 401ks, most people got these days, and 401ks are being limited because of the price of the stock.
Hmm. I got into a debate with my buddy about he's working for UPS, and he's like, yeah, he don't understand why are you buying all this. You should be getting putting money in a 401k. And he said, in 2 years, I got 20K in my 401k. I said, oh. I said, and I told him, I said, in the 6 months that I've been buying this, I said, I got half your 401k in gold, buddy.
Oh,
I
here's
said,
what
and that's
I'm
at the current price. If it goes up, then I'm going to be blowing your 401k away.
Let me give you an idea of what the trend was. My dad was working for a lumber company that made boxes for fruits and vegetables, wooden boxes. And after 23 years of working for that company, the 2 years before I started working, 2 years before he retired, I was working at a grocery store that was union job. I was making $5.01 in 1975 at a job I didn't want. My dad got me that job. Now, he retired 2 years later. Before he retired, I was making $12 an hour. He was making $8.23 an hour after 23 years with the company.
Wow.
Okay, now that same year he retired, 2 years later, after I started working at this grocery store, they started saying, "Hey, we're gonna give you guys 401k and we'll match your funds." And I said, "That doesn't sound good. When somebody comes up with a plan, it means that plan is benefiting them, not the employees." So I told them not to take it, not to take it, not to take it. Well, I worked that place, a job I didn't want, for 11 years. I'm getting a pension of $300 a month for 11 years of work. I had medical benefits. I had 50 cents copay for my doctor visits and my medical for doctor's appointments.
Hmm.
Shoot, now what is everybody paying? Sometimes $100 for a copay
Yeah.
for and I'm saying, guys, got to get away from the 401ks. You have to get pensions. And when they said, well, that's not going to help, they said, well, why not? I said, I'm getting a pension that I didn't even ask for and a job I didn't want. And yet I've got medical for my kids. I've got bonds that I put away that were, you know, easy and accessible. And every year they say, "Oh, we're going to close the stores down. We're going to make sure that you want your job still." For 11 years, they were saying always scare tactics. Always did that. And I said, "Well, that's why the unions are so low, and they have a bad opinion." Yes, there's corruption. Well, so is government, so is the military, so is cops, so is, people cheating on the taxes. Everybody does something,
Right.
and you got to take the benefit of the most. And I said, we really need to get unions back in. That's the only way it's going to help people in any part of the country. Look at the coal miners. They were all union, and as soon as the union got busted, they started losing wages and started losing jobs. Then they moved the jobs overseas, and it just went on and on and on. So. Uh,
Morning,
Madness
Lola.
of this country.
Yeah, my son and daughter, they make some good money, but they struggle sometimes because well, not only inflation, it's also what's the word that they want to use? The prices of housing can't keep up with their pay, and they
I
make good
mean,
money.
when you go to apply for an apartment or a house, whatever you rent, or even in your mortgage payment, They're requiring that your income monthly is like 3 times, or at least you have to make 3 times a month. How much? I'm saying this wrong. Your monthly income has to be 3 times the monthly rent or mortgage. So if your rent's like you said 4,200, they're requiring your job to be 3 times that in a month. It's supposed to make that. Who the
Wow.
hell makes that kind of money? I mean, if
Wow.
you're
Well, if it's $1,000 apartment, that means you got to make $3,000.
right, and the way that is, the way it seems, that $1,000 apartment is in a bad area. It's run down. I mean, because most of these, like you said, that one is 4,200. Uh,
You're not going to find $1,000 apartment in California.
no, I mean you can find $1,000 apartment, and that's usually either a studio or a one-bedroom apartment in most places.
Well, I don't know what housing is like in your area, but in my neighborhood, people are paying some ridiculous prices for houses. My house is paid off. Let's see, about 2.5 years ago. You'd be surprised how much difference in your daily, or I should say, monthly income makes a difference when you don't have a house payment or rent.
A lot.
It blew me away. Oh my gosh.
I mean, you still got yearly insurance and stuff and taxes, but
Yeah, but okay, let's put it this way. I'll give you a number. Most houses in this area are between $2,000 and $2,800 a month. Taxes are about, oh, 3,000 to 5,000 a year. Insurance is about $200 a month. Water is about 225 a month. Water, gas, and garbage. So that's still quite a bit. I mean, I still pay my electricity. I still pay my garbage. I still pay for insurance, but it's I don't see how people can buy houses at that rate. Jeez.
With that big monthly payment that you were paying every month is now gone.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't rent a place. Uh, who dropped out? Dread.
Dread.
I don't rent a place because I'm on the road so much. Because it's pointless for me to rent some place and spend all that money for me never to be there.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't have rent and I don't have a mortgage. And believe me, I got that's why I can do what I do because I don't have that payment. Like I don't have a monthly rent
Mm-hmm.
payment or mortgage payment. And if I want to hang out somewhere for 4 days, I just go get a hotel for 4 days.
Yeah, most of my living was pretty stable because I was a teacher for so many years. And before that, I was working in retail for another 25 years. And my wife was here in town. Her parents are here in town. My parents are in town. Her grandparents on both sides are in town. My grandparents, everybody lives in town, and it was. And I just saw it as an investment because I bought my house at a time where it was a little pricey for the times, but what I paid in those days and what the house is worth now is 5 times what it was
Right.
worth then. So it's almost like a savings account or a bank account
The
because
real estate market is so blowed up, way
oh
above
yeah,
what it should be.
so is cars, so is trucking, so is well, some jobs are not paid what they are, and I feel bad for people that can't get their house because or their apartment or their living situation where the way they want it because they should be able if they can afford a style that they want they should be able to live it no matter what.
Right. I agree with that. Um, but it's. I mean, you hear it all the time. I got to work 3 jobs just to pay rent. Like, damn.
Hmm.
And I don't. I'm kind of confused because you see all these. places now. McDonald's $18 an hour. Target to be a cashier at Target is $26 an hour. Like what the?
Mm.
I'm making $26 an hour at Target. You know what I was making back in the day? My first job, I was making $2.95 an hour.
Oh, I'll give you one. I started working when I was 5 years old because my parents and I worked in the fields picking grapes and putting them on boards. And each board was only 3 cents a board. And there's 3,000 boards in a row. You only make $3 in a row, and it took you 2 days, 3 days to get it done.
Here's
Well, that's
one better.
crazy.
Waitresses' minimum wage has been $2.13 ever since I can remember.
And that's see, my son's a labor organizer, and he was working and getting like the waitresses, like he was in Missouri for a while in Springfield, and he was saying that some of the waitresses were only making $2.45 in their state, and the tips only made them living in a better condition instead of having a minimum wage of $7 an hour and plus tips. But the employer wants the patron to pay for the salary of the waitress. That's not right.
It's not.
I'm sorry.
It's not.
No, no, it's not.
Never has been. And then they take all of your wages that you made to tax your tips.
I didn't catch the last part about tips.
They take all of the wages that you made to tax your tips.
Hmm.
Yeah, I know. There's a couple places I know that at the end of the night, the waitresses have to count out their tips and enter it into the computer so the tips can be taxed.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's an
Okay.
honest person. But most people that I know that own restaurants here in town, they don't claim all the wages. Matter of fact, they split it with the owners.
Well, any waitress never claims more than $5 what she made over a credit card if she's got any brains at all.
Well, I know a waitress who worked at a bar that makes easily $400 a night, and on the weekends it's even more.
It is what it is. I mean, it's a big club, and face it, we are not in it.
Yeah.
I'm
Okay.
just, I just surprised the fact that they're still making that less. You would think they would at least be bumped up to $7 an hour, even with the tips, because what the hell?
Is this Johnny Ray Highway?
Yeah,
Ah, dang. I know you.
yeah.
Shoot, I barely recognize your voice. I just thought of it right now. Wow. Nice to meet you, John.
This is actually Dred's channel. Um, I'm more like a co-host.
Well, yeah, I just recognized who you are.
Right?
Sorry,
Yeah.
sorry about that, man.
You're here every day.
That's funny. When I dropped out for my leg issue, I come back and so many new people, and and they're like, well, oh my god, really?
Well, this situation in the United States has got to get better because I don't want to leave this world, and my grandkids and my kids are having a hard time.
Our great grandchildren can't pay off the debt they've created in the last 2 years.
Oh, I can no, not in the last 2 years. We're talking about since Bush.
It's been a lot longer than that. You
Oh,
need
it's
to
been
go
it's been that way.
all,
I can tell you. See, I'm a sort of a history teacher because I teach social studies, and I
all
can
the
tell
way
you.
back to Grant.
I'm sorry.
Sold us out.
Who?
Ulysses S. Grant.
Oh, well, at least the South didn't win. That would have really been bad.
When he did his term as president, we were out of money, and they turned us into a corporation, and we belonged to the oh big bank deal. My brain's not clicking. It's 5 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, it's 2 o'clock here.
Well, sorry, it's 5. I haven't been to sleep yet.
Ain't got nobody in chat.
No.
It's it's a hard world.
It
Everything our
really
parents
is.
told us forever is a lie. Anything of any real importance.
I can tell you that for a truthful fact because the way I grew up in a small rural town. Matter of fact, my town's so small still that right back of my fence is a 1,000 acre vineyard. And on the other side of that is pomegranates. And behind that is almonds. And the other side of that is the airport. So this is a really small town. And I remember people would say, you are good as you are as your word. And I always grew up thinking, being from private school, everybody was goody two shoes and all that kind of stuff. Man, when I started working in a grocery store, man, I did not believe the people, how even the most honest looking people you can think of are the probably the ones. I used to catch people shoplifting all the time, and I caught my best friend's father shoplifting. Took my world away. Unbelievable.
Trying to get my. Oh, somebody got a comment. Just trying to get my newest short watch.
I'll answer that question, Dreadpool. The most scary thing I've always wanted to do was sing in front of a large group.
Oh, uh, if you sing in
It
front of
was.
a group,
Wait, what? See there?
Couldn't do karaoke, wouldn't do it. I would sing with the school kids, and they would say, "Hey, you got a good voice," and never had the gumption to go sing solo.
yeah. Um,
I've
I
never had a problem doing that.
I know it would have to have a few drinks at you before it even
Oh
comes to.
shoot, we grew up with my parents always saying kids should be seen and not heard.
Oh yeah, and my grandpa said the same thing. A man's only as good as his word.
Yeah, and when we were in public, it was yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, yes, sir, no, sir, yes, sir.
Hmm.
And Lord help you,
No,
if you got the look.
no back talk either, of any kind.
You must have taken your medication late, Drew.
I'm sorry.
I was talking to Drew. He must have taken his medication late.
Uh,
uh,
there
I'm
wasn't
pretty
much drugs in my time. It was mostly yeah. I'm trying to think of even through high school. I think the biggest thing was a 6 pack of beer. I think that was the biggest thing.
Beer, speed, marijuana. Whenever I was never around people, but I mean, you always heard of PCP and angel dust. So,
Hmm. I mean, even when I was dating my wife, one of um, one of our adult friends, because we were dating really young. We started dating at 19, and we met some of her friends, and he was a truck driver, and he was bringing duffel bags of marijuana across state lines. One day we walk into his kitchen, and there he is, pulling out bricks out of his duffel bags, breaking them apart in the kitchen table. I'm going, damn.
The good old days.
Yeah, except, well, I've had some bad experiences with people with drugs, and I don't. How should I put this? It was hard for them as much as it was for their families.
I I can relate to that. Pills, doctors are nothing more than legal drug dealers. I've seen a
Hmm.
lot of people
Oh yeah,
go
oh
to
yeah.
hell in a handbasket because doctors just wrote them pills like they wanted them.
When I was 19 and 18, I really had a negative view of people on drugs, especially if they were stealing from their families and that. And now that I'm older by 50 years, I've, 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 it's almost like a fine knife. I sometimes what they do is wrong, and at the same time, they can't help it. It's the drugs that drives them. And
I've known tons of people that smoke pot. None of them, I mean, people smoking pot's totally different than doing pills and coke, crack,
Oh, 100%.
pills.
well,
Yeah,
there's still a dependency on marijuana, even if it's
but it's a mental
psychological.
one.
No, not when you have a 10-year-old kid bringing 3 ounces of Maui Wowie on the campus. That's not a little thing. It's a 10-year-old kid.
Yeah, that
10-year-old kid that got in mom and dad's stash.
Yeah, no, they're friends. Jeez, forget about that. I mean, yeah, probably. I mean, that's probably true. But um, when you deal with kids at that age in
And
my
they don't even
area
mess
where
with it.
where I teach, it's gangland. But you know something? I worked on the better part of town, and the only words that is not gangland is because they're not dressed the part. They are clean cut, but they're still anything less or more than the worst looking gangs you can think of. They just don't show it. And
I lived in San Diego for 2 years between 8 and 10.
ooh, where what part?
National City.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've been there.
And I can remember going out on Friday nights and watching all the little jumping cars go up and down the boulevard. Drugs in my grade school wasn't a problem, but I can see where they would have been at the high school. Um, we had some rough kids in school.
Mm-hmm.
That grade school probably had upwards of 1,000 kids. So every grade had like at least 6 rooms of kids and 30 kids in the class.
Is that all? One time in one class, I had 35 kids in class, and 30 of them had monitors on their ankles.
Oh Lord.
So believe me, oh my God. Oh,
Now this was
jeez.
78 to 1980, the
Okay.
first of 1980.
Well, I started teaching in '98.
Oh Lord, that's when schools had already went to hell in a handbasket. Was graduating at that time.
You want to hear something, Shell? The thing is that I came from a very strict Catholic upbringing. There was no gray area. There was no or yes, and there was nothing in between, good or bad, whatever. And my first year teaching, I wasn't even a full time teacher. I was just covering a semester for a teacher that was maternity, and she had complications from her childbirthing, and she couldn't come back to work, so they hired me for that semester. Well, I had the roughest kids. I mean, believe me, if you get threatened by a student that he's going to kill you that day, you take it seriously.
Yeah,
And when I called the cops and called the principal about it, they the cop knew who the kid was and the family, and they said, "We'll go talk to him because this is not a good situation." And because I was so strict, it's because I didn't let kids, play me. I can always feel that there was something more because I worked in 25 years of business, so I was always suspicious of people telling me things. And sure enough, this kid walks up to me and says, "I'm gonna cut your, and I'm gonna throw you." And I'm going, you know something? I'm part Indian. They always said, my grandpa used to say, "Today's a good day to die. Do it now." scared the crap out of that kid. And my principal heard the story that I said that to the kid. She walks up to me, "What are you going to do next year?" I said, "Well, I'm going to teach summer school here, and then I got a job offer in three other towns, and I'll start in the fall." She goes, "No, you won't." I go, "Excuse me? No. Come to my office as soon as you finish the day, and come to my office, and we'll talk." Well, I got there, and she had a contract on her desk because she said that she liked my style of management. And I said, "Well, I don't even know how much it's going to pay." "Well, tell you what, where do you want to start?" I said, "Really?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "Well, I know I can't get all the units, but I have this." And she goes, "Okay, I'll agree to that." And from then on, it was like fun. I enjoyed the hard kids.
I went from being in a school of probably 300 kids. There were two black kids in the whole school. Everybody else was white. I go to California. I am the minority, for real. I walk into the school. In my class, there's me and one other white kid, one black kid, one Asian kid. The rest were Mexicans. I was scared.
I'll, I'll give you an example. I was the minority. I mean, really the minority. I was the only one in my first grade class until about sixth grade because everybody in my class was not Hispanic or Mexican or Caribbean or whatever. And everybody, I wouldn't say everybody, I'd say most of the people had parents that could afford without getting some help, financially. And our financial was that we went out in the fields with my parents every weekend and to do whatever it took to pay our bill for school because, I mean, it costs us clothes, it costs us food, it costs us tuition, books. And instead of paying for the bus, we walked every day to school until my dad was not working in certain times of the year because of, you know, season, whatever. We walked every day, and it was like 3 miles to, the school because we couldn't afford to pay for the transportation. So yeah, I know what that's like, especially yeah, even the way even my cousins kind of tease me because if you notice my voice, I don't have an accent, and they do. They have a Spanish accent, like you would not believe, and they were born here, and I mean, even the kids call me white bread. So feeling the pressure from your own people, that's even worse.
It was rough.
Certainly was. I don't I don't know. I was kind of like empathetic to the students that were in my class that were not in any kind of ethnicity because I know what they felt like when they was doing it to me.
Um, I'd never even seen a Latin descent kid before. We're talking about 1978. I just
I'm talking about
right.
1965. In 1963, I was 7 years old in first grade when John Kennedy was shot. I
Wow.
remember that day, and believe me, this area. You think California is liberal? Not in this area. This is the most conservative Republican area because it's mostly ranchers that run this area and the farmers, and they're all very restrictive.
Be thankful of that.
It didn't help me. That's why my parents took me out of public school because they said I was retarded, and I was supposed to go to a special school for Mexicans only. So I'm not too keen on being called retarded because of the color of my skin to go to a certain school because didn't have the intelligence. I had more. I'm teaching your kids now. So how about that? I remember the principal, Mr. Bigger. Boy, I can tell you, my mom didn't speak English, but she was treated terribly. So yeah, shoot, my family's been in the military since World War One. My grandpa, my dad's two brothers, and him in World War Two. His brother in the Air Force for 25 years from Korea to Vietnam. Even my son-in-law is a Navy vet, combat vet in Iraq. He can tell you stories about his treatment in the military.
Mm.
So, I mean, you know what I believe in is anybody who's had experience that's the opposite is just as valid as a person who's had the opposite of that person's experience. Because I didn't walk in their shoes and they didn't walk in mine. Even my dad got fired from his job in 1960. You know why? He had a bumper sticker that says John Kennedy for president on his car, on his personal car. And he got fired from the job. And the guy says, "You're fired." Says, "Why?" "Well, we don't want a pope running this country." Those are the kind of attitudes that we, you know, had to deal with. And so he went to get another job someplace else. In those days, you couldn't say anything or do anything about it. Nowadays, if you even look at a woman badly, whoo, that's harassment.
You have to have an That's why I stay away from dating and shit, because you got to damn near have an application and put consent on video, or else you're going to hand you up in court.
You got that right. And you know something? I have a son who's 32 years old who will not, how should I put it, get intimate, or I should say this in a touchy way, because he's afraid that one of his coworkers got sent home and investigated until the lady said, "No, I was not joshing." She was saying, "Well, I just been uncomfortable. I know now that he didn't do any intentions to be um, harmful in any way." So he got his job back. But man, the first time he got called in the office, they told him, "If this comes out to be true, you're fired. You're on 3 day suspension."
I met my first wife we both worked at Long John Silver's. So, I mean, so you can imagine what that was like. You couldn't do that shit now.
Well, I've been married 42 years this June coming. I'm not going to get married again if my wife passes away or get remarried because of the things I've heard. Jeez, prenuptial agreements, family disputes, divorces again after the second marriage, third marriage. I mean, I've heard this all from my students. They're the ones that tell me what goes on in the real world. I said, no, I'm staying married as long as possible.
See, that's the problem. People don't. They get married, but they're not really committed anymore.
No,
No, when it gets hard, they don't want. They just think the grass is greener on the other side, and they always run. There's no working on them. I mean, a relationship ain't an easy thing. There's a lot of work that goes into that.
There's a lot of gift from both sides of it. Yeah.
yep. Let's see, my brother has been married 38 years. My sister divorced. My other sister has been married. She's the youngest. She's been married 31 years. No, 28 years. I'm sorry, 28 years. My four brother-in-laws all married over 40 years. We've been lucky in our family. I only had one divorce in among my siblings and my in-laws.
That's awesome because I've been married 3 times. I always joke, say I'm looking for number 4, but again, you're gonna have to fill out a 20-page application. I need video evidence, and that's just for the first date.
Do you remember and recall the old folks used to say, "Never marry a man with kids or a woman with kids"?
hmm
And nowadays it's like it's okay, but then they still divorce. I'm going, well, what happened? You guys changed your attitude, but the problem still arise. You guys are divorced it anyway.
Right. I mean, my third wife had 5 kids, so
Wow.
which
Good Lord.
I had no problem with it. I took care of all. We were together we were married for 10 years, so um, yeah. I haven't talked to them in a while, but all of them, I still stay in touch with all of them. But I never have had a problem with that. That's not. That's just a. That's part of life. But
Hmm.
I'm talking about all this shit, this harassment and this and being taken to court if you. I mean, you can't even do. I don't know how to say it without sounding like an asshole. So
No, it's not. It's not that you're going to sound like an asshole. It's just that the person who doesn't agree with you will think that, not
right.
other people who agree with you. So that's not a real definition for people to say you're wrong. One person can say you're right because it happened to them, and it can happen to the other person who say you're wrong because you say it that way.
And I'm not going to say that there ain't a great substantial amount of women that was harassed or whatever that Me Too movement shit is, but it's put the world in such a position that people don't want to date. They don't know how to date. They don't know how to act. They don't know how to. Back when I was a teenager, that was it. You was touchy feely. If you liked them, you was always finding ways to rub up against each. Just you can't do that nowadays. Can't walk by with a girl and touch her on the shoulder and say, what's up? Because they're like, oh, you harassed me. Wait, what? I touched you on the shoulder. I just want to say hello. That's harassment.
Well, here's another thing too. Men don't call out women on harassment when they do it because
No, they
Oh, I
don't.
get my fair share of that.
when men can't say, "Hey, you harassed me." Oh, you're not a man if you can't take it. That kind of attitude.
Yeah, and that's a big one. You see that a lot. Where most men keep shit up, bottled up inside. They don't say nothing about anything that's
Hmm.
bothering them
Hmm.
because of that. It's that exact thing. You're a man. You should be able to take that shit. You shouldn't. You shouldn't have to have. You shouldn't have any problems. You're a man. Suck it up.
Well, it's just like I had a discussion on one of the YouTube channels. I forget which one it was. It wasn't my normal one because normally I just talk on coins and that's it. And sometimes when I hear a good conversation and people are being pleasant and respectful, I might jump in. And that's why I asked, may I come up? I don't just say, I'm coming up, just because the
Right.
link is there. So I always ask permission to come in. And it's just that I don't like it when, oh, how should I put this? This is going to be a little difficult. When women dress a certain way to attract a certain person's males, let's say females dress a certain way that's very provocative, very sleazy, and some guy that she won't be attracted to oh, he'll say, "Hey, can I buy you a drink?" Already, he's already in trouble,
Right.
because she didn't like the one who was for. I mean, if you're gonna, for me, if someone looks attractive, I'm gonna look, but I'm not gonna say nothing because I'm afraid of anything that I say is gonna be.
You used against you in a court of law.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I said, one kid goes, one kid tells me, he says that he got into an argument with a girl because she was wearing something really nice in his eyes, and he's wanted to say, I wanted to come up to you and see if you wanted to talk and have a drink. And she goes, "Oh, you just googling me with your eyes." And he goes, "Well, what are you wearing that outfit for?" And then she goes, "Well, it's not for you." "Well, how do you know it's for?" "Well, I'll make that choice." "Well, that's great. So make your choice." I said, "Well, don't look." And she said, "Well, don't show." I said, "You're not going to win that, Kate. You're not going to win that." Another thing
You're
too.
not.
My son's scared to date.
Oh, that's what I said. I agree. I've been
He's
single
scared
since
more scared
2013,
to date.
and I have no. I don't even know how about going about dating anymore. Like I said, it is not nowhere near back as easy as it was. Like I said, you don't know if you're looking at somebody because they're attractive. If they're not, if they like Hector said, if they're not what if you're not what they're looking for, they're gonna be. You're harassing me with your eyes. Wow, how dare you look at me?
Mm,
Okay. I watched a TikTok earlier, uh, because I got a lot of trucking shit on TikTok. And her husband, they own a truck or whatever. She's always talking shit about trucker wives and blah blah blah. But she always puts this like thick. I mean, she usually got this red ass lipstick on and thick ass makeup. And she had a video where she had no makeup on. All the guy said is, "You look good with no makeup." and she ripped, called him a dick and a fucking asshole. And how dare you tell me something like that? Whoa, wait, hold on. He was complimenting you, and you're ripping him apart. Whoa, holy crap!
There was a YouTube where this girl comes up to this guy in a bar and she just whacks him one and he doesn't do nothing. She comes up to him again and cusses him out and then whacks him again, doesn't do nothing. The third time she was really getting physical, starts shoving him, pushing him against the wall, and man, he decked her. I mean, totally manhood was still a slap in the face, but the man was is like she was taking advantage of her being female because you're not going to touch me, but I can assault you, but you're not going to do nothing back. And the guy just went off on her and just nailed her against the wall. Jeez.
Wow.
And I don't know if he got arrested. I don't know if he got charged with anything. I don't know if she backed down. I mean, she was in a very short dress, and I mean, it didn't look pleasant her being ladylike on the floor with her face all smashed up. But it's just like when I told we had a discussion in class about women's rights and men's rights. Fathers that can't get their kids, fathers that want their child to be born, but the mother has the only right. Stuff like that. Oh, selective service. Men have to sign up for the selective service for the draft, but women don't have to. And they said if you want equal rights, then you want that kind of opportunity too, because if men don't sign up for the selective service, they're denied federal employment. They're denied any kind of small business from the federal government for small business loans. This goes on and on and on and on,
And they ain't even go
and
to jail.
they can go to jail for 20 years for not going to selective
Signing
service.
a little piece of paper.
Yeah, sign a
Yeah.
little piece of paper. They don't want to go and do that.
What's worse is most parents don't know when you get your child's birth certificate, you've already sold their soul. That little number that's on that certificate,
Well, that's true. And I know my family they weren't born in a hospital because, well, three different reasons. One, because they weren't allowed in the hospital. Two, because they were poor and they couldn't afford a hospital. And three, they were born on a ranch when there was no doctors, only midwives. And when you don't have a birth certificate, you can't prove you're a citizen and you can't prove that you live in the state. And one of my um, great uncles was born in Jerome, Arizona. And in 1929, he was a 4-year-old boy, and they sent him back to Mexico. But his parents told him he was born here in Arizona, in Jerome. Where's your birth certificate? We don't have one. Did you go to the doctor? We couldn't afford one. Besides, they wouldn't let us in. And he was sent back for, see, 4 or 5 years. And he finally came back only because the people that he was living on the ranch with, the rancher, finally gave permission to say, "Oh, yeah, they are citizens; they can come back." And so that's the only way he came back, or else his son would have never married my great aunt.
Wow.
And in 1929, the Mexican Repatriation Act sent back 1 million American citizens, and they didn't come. They didn't come back. They didn't come back.
And you got to think of
Now,
that 4-year-old that gets deported to Mexico. There's nothing in his life except for the American way, and they got to go to a complete different country. He has no absolute clue about.
you ever see that movie? I'm a big movie buff. I like movies. You ever seen the movie with Chich Marin in Born in East LA?
Yeah.
That is a funny movie.
Yes, it is.
I can tell you a story. In California and in Arizona and New Mexico, I think in Texas too, there's a checkpoint 100 miles north of the California border. I'm not sure about the other states, but I'm sure that they have the same thing. But they had a 100 border mile checkpoint, and we had just got back from Tijuana, and we're coming up Interstate 5, which comes dead center of California, a little off, more close to the coastal mountains. And we got to the checkpoint, and the border officer asked us, "Are you American citizens?" And I said, "Well, don't we look like it?" And he got pissed because, "Sir, are you American citizens?" Why would you ask that question if we speak English? Oh, you have a good coach. I go, oh Lord.
Yeah, they don't like that shit.
No, no, no,
Yeah,
no.
they ain't no have sense of humor down there on the border, like, because you got checkpoints in California, you got checkpoints in Arizona, Texas, all over Texas. Back roads in
Oh,
Texas is just, I mean, there's border checkpoints all over the place. So
Johnny, do you drive national?
yeah,
Oh, okay. Yeah, I did. He was. Oh, the other question that pissed him off also. I said, "Where's your green card?" Because he was Mexican too. But that's me. I kind of question authority a little bit.
well, the majority of border patrols are Hispanic,
Mm.
which
But you need to be able to speak Spanish.
you have to. I mean,
No, hey, in my young days, when I was in my teens, there was nothing but white people in the border patrol, and they spoke Spanish almost as good as I did.
what's up, Kellen?
Oh,
Lurking.
Kellen's in the room. He's
Yep,
watching. He's lurking.
yep.
He's thinking about burning something.
Have you ever been stalked on social media? Nope.
No, hell, I can't keep subscribers, so I'm not being stalked on social media.
Oh, Johnny, I look for you when I go on the stream.
Well, yeah, I mean,
I'm
because
talking.
we go to a lot of the same streams, so
How do you spend your mornings? Dreadpool says. Well, since I'm semi-retired, I wake up in the morning about 8 o'clock, have a cup of coffee, watch the news, and then I do my chores outside.
I think Dreadpool's asleep. To be honest with you,
Well, he
That's
no,
his
them
just
are
side.
4 minutes ago he said the last question.
they're automated populated questions. They just automatically pop up.
Oh, are they? Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Those are no fun.
Oh, actually, they are.
they really are. We've had a lot of we get a lot of discussions out of them. The problem was they were repeating a lot of the same questions. So
What is the best restaurant you've been to? My grandma's house.
yeah, I don't get many home cooked meals. So
Oh, well, that's what we live on. We don't hardly go to restaurants. We cook everything. I just bought a new barbecue, Oklahoma Joe, three combination function where it's a barbecue, grill, and a smoker.
Mm,
nice.
Oh, and the way we cook is because my son-in-law is a trained chef, sorry, trained chef, and he made us a steak like you would not believe. Oh my God. And then on my wife's side of the family, they're from Texas, so their meat chunks are like a pound and a half for each person in the family, even for the 4-year-old kids. And then we cook Mexican style from Michoacan, and my other side, my dad's side of the family, they grew up in California since the 1900s. They cook like Santa Maria tri-tip and California kind of frou-frou, like real thin strips and 5 minute, you know, cooked on one side, 5 minutes on the other, and they're done. So
that's
it's
too long.
I'm hungry now.
The moo need to go move.
Lola Davis says that she eats home all the time.
I
I mean, the
swear,
most I got in this truck is a microwave, so I don't.
I really did splurge today. I went out and got us Philly cheesesteak sandwiches.
I'm not a big cook. I don't like cooking. It's not. I know a lot of like my best friend. He loves to cook. Like I have no desire to. cook anything. I like to eat, but I ain't cooking shit.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. When I was in college, the first time right out of high school, I went to a party and everybody was getting hungry, and nobody knew how to cook. Even the girls, they I don't know how to make this. I don't know how to make that. And the guys were getting hungry, and I said, and I kind of like said, and I shouldn't have said it, but I said I know how to cook. And he goes, "What can you cook?" I said, "What do you have in the refrigerator?" They had some pasta and some hamburger. So we all pitched in our money to get some salsa. I said, "Give me marinara sauce. Go get a salad. Go get a long loaf of bread." So we had, garlic bread, salad, and spaghetti. And then I got invited again the following weekend, and guess who cooked that for that time? And this time the crowd was twice the size.
Oh
Nice.
no.
And then I made
Well,
tacos, and then I made like simple beans. I started teaching the girls how to make, simple beans in a pot.
All right. Um. Well, like I said, I think Dred's knocked out, and I got to get ready to hit the road. So I'm gonna go ahead and because I can end the stream. So I'm gonna go ahead and end the stream, and
Me too. I
you
need to put
guys
my
have
get to bed too.
you guys have a good night.
I
not
do
Johnny Ray
too.
Hugs.
Nice talking to you, Johnny Ray.
Yeah,
Bye,
it was a
Shal.
great conversation.
Yep. Thank you, everybody. Good night, everyone.
Have a good night, guys.
Not Dre,
What?
love you.
Good night, Dred.
Night.